All right, morning, rise and shine. I don't know, it's morning for me, so um, it's all it's all good. It's maybe afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Look at the camera right here. Good evening for you guys. So this is Kiana here. We've been covering the Married at First Sight show um, for the last couple of weeks on this channel. And the last episode, I think they're on day 4. The honeymoon is ending, all that stuff. Was it episode 6? So I haven't really covered a couple other things that was on the show, the other couples. Sorry. So I haven't been able to, but I noticed a couple dynamics, and I've seen it come up a lot in real life around social media, around just life in general when it comes to men and women, how they're seen and how they're viewed. I wanted to take a look at Brianna and Vincent. Now the thing is that I'm just gonna maybe wait for yeah. So the thing is here with Brianna and Vincent, right? They're like so far my favorite couple, to be honest. Like, I mean, they have their own issues, but like so far, like compared with everybody else, I mean, if you want to look at the level of toxicity, there's different levels. You have Chris Page as the highest level, and then you know what? I don't want to put anybody in a hierarchy here because that gets somewhere else. But I just really like their relationship, their dynamics for the most part. Okay, so there's some things that I find really cute. Just they adore each other, and everything looks pretty good, and they appear to not be as maybe have some of the toxic dynamics that maybe is a bit triggering. But there's one thing, and that was brought up even on the day of their wedding, with Brianna's bossiness, and then you have Vincent's anger issues. So the family members had brought up that Vincent, he has quite a temper, and then Brianna, you know, she's a bossy person and things like that. On the latest episode, we kind of witnessed that the bossiness kind of shows up, like it does. I mean, I'm not talking about my standpoint, but like in general, like you could see her express more of that trait out. It became more apparent. And also, it also becomes apparent that Vincent is trying to control himself more. Like he doesn't want to like blow up or get mad or anything like that. He's just like, oh, you're bossy. Hmm. I see it. I see it. Okay, I see it. Like that's the attitude that that's kind of taking around right now. Um, but I could still feel like he was holding back, like he was trying not to like get like I don't know, just maybe he was just trying to. Well, it appears to me like I'm not in his head, but it appears to me like he's trying to hold back and be, I guess, less upset, whatever. So I have to just, from my point of view, here's what I think. When who exactly is the boss in any relationship? In in the most understandings across the board, wherever you go, the man leads, right? But here we have this woman that is really um, take charge, do it yourself, custom probably of giving orders. She has a professional life before, and so there's some things that she's accustomed of doing and that she continues to do. And then you have this man that likes to take charge. Of course, as a man, you want to take charge, take control, lead, right? See here the manosphere, they talk about leading. Oh, they won't let us lead. Well, anyway, that's a different topic. So he wants to be the man, and you know as a guy, he knows that this is what he's wired to do. And then you have this lady that has a more, you know, kind of give orders, or just kind of like what he feels is bossiness. But I also noticed that Brianna works, at least her career, as far as I understand, is an engineering field. It is a male dominated field. And oftentimes women have to kind of be, a little bit more stern, more serious, to be taken seriously, to be taken, to be respected professionally. I mean, there's a whole lot of dynamics. It's not just, oh, she's just bossy. I take into consideration the fact that Brianna is in a mostly male dominated profession. She's got to know her stuff, do her stuff correctly. She's, has to, um, like, you know, she has to prove herself also amongst maybe like other in a profession that's predominantly male. Um, Vincent has been, according to him, working on his own business, being an entrepreneur, being successful, which is why his last relationship failed, because the last relationship, that woman didn't approve of him, like not working a job. She wanted him to, I guess have, she didn't want him into this working, being self-employed type of situation. So he's accustomed of running his own show, okay, as he needs to be. Welcome, welcome. So he's accustomed of running his own show, and then you have Brianna, who is accustomed of also running her show as well, but in a male-dominated environment. And I just find like what he interprets as bossiness, I mean, it could be that she's very specific on a few things. You understand? She's, maybe specific on, when women have to stick up for themselves a lot, and then they have specific requirements, and they're very insistent on that, that, can be seen as boss, when really you know, it's just that when you're specific on certain things and you assert yourself, yes, assert yourself, you are seen as bossy as a female. And I watch how people I watch how his reaction to her, is kind of like on the, ooh, I see this bossiness, but I hope this doesn't continue for very long type of attitude from Vince. The thing is, this is all new for the both of them. But I think they do need to have a conversation amongst themselves as to why is she nitpicky. Like the last scene where, they were in the bathroom, they were getting ready, and the soap fell. Okay, honestly, I kind of understand her point. Soap that you're probably using on your face, your body, whatever, it falls on the floor. You're not going to really want to put that soap on you. You're not going to really want to, I don't know. I don't know. But I guess he found, she was kind of bossy because can you pick up the soap? Because he was going to pick up the soap and then hand it back to her. You understand? And I'm like, hygiene wise, like I see what she's saying. Like, don't pick something up from the ground that you have to put on your face, or you're washing, and then you pick it up from the ground and just hand it back. Like, so, and I guess he found that was a lot because, like, she's saying, no, okay, don't pick it up. Okay, well, you already picked it up. Okay, no, don't hand it to me. Like, put it, like, throw it away or something like that. And he found just those several commands that was bossy. I mean, he hasn't seen her on her job. He hasn't really known her for very long to really say, well, the bossiness did come out. I just found that she wasn't bossy per se, but just, assertive in how she wants things done. No, don't pick that soap up. No, don't hand it back to me after you picked it up off the floor. Ew. Like, what if that was someone else? Like, would he have felt her bossy? And this is the kind of worms right here. You understand? This is a Black woman who is very assertive and specific about herself and, who and what she wants and what she wants. And for some reason, like if she says that anything, it's like all of a sudden she's assertive. I know that family members have said that, but I mean, we have yet to see going forward, like if the bossiness is going to extend to other areas, or is she going to be like following Vince around? Now do this, now do that. When you gotta do this, blah, 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 blah. You gotta do that. Um, hey Shan Fogown, good morning for me, or good afternoon for you, or evening. Good morning. Welcome to my channel. Thanks for watching. Um, yeah, so there's this whole thing with, when women assert themselves. Um, when women assert themselves, why is it that they're seen as bossy, like domineering, right? And then, you look at characters like even in the Bible, right? I know most people have a, a Christian background and everything like that. Majority, at least, even as a child, somebody took you to Sunday school, right? So even in the Bible, the most hated character, even the manosphere hates. What is this first character that they don't like? Is Jezebel, because first of all, was a queen that was domineering, that was running King Ahab. All right, I mean, Brianna wasn't quite like that. Saw you last night live with Janice. Yes, so we were. All right, welcome, welcome. Oh yes, Ohio. Wow, is it snowing there for you? So, because I know there gets kind of cold. I don't know. It's just winter is just really hard this year for a lot of people, including Texas, and there's just a lot going on right now this winter. So it's to the point where how far can a woman assert herself, but then do you slip back because you don't want to be seen as bossy and domineering? Do you let people get away with a lot of things, or do you let I mean what is the limit as a woman? Because Brianna, yes, she's a little bit, picky about a couple of things, but so far as bossy, I'm not too sure if that can, or that hasn't come out yet. You know, that may be a little bit of little bossiness there. Maybe that's not fully, the whole thing. Um, you know, Let us know, like, why are they, um, why are women considered bossy if they assert themselves? And even on a race relations, when black women assert themselves, white women, they assert themselves, and it's like, yeah, they know what they want. They are letting, they are, and I don't mean to bring divisive topics into the situation, but I mean that's just how it is. Like, a white woman, a white woman would be like, yeah, she knows what she wants. I'm just, letting you know, hey, please do not cross these boundaries. A black woman says, hey, I know what I want. Please do not cross these boundaries. Da, 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 da. And it's seen as negative, like you're being bossy. So it's like, should women let people do whatever they want, or just like chill and just lay back and just let people just kind of have their way, just so not as they're not seen as bossy? Because bossiness also is more of like a man's type, it's more of a masculine thing. But then if as a black woman you're seen as masculine in general, when you assert yourself and say, no, please don't put that soap and hand it to me, please, sir. Please do not um hand me back that dirty soap that just fell on the floor and hand it back to me. All of a sudden, ooh, what is going on? I think it's our tone sometimes. Yeah, that does have a part to play with it. That does have a part to play. Because sometimes even if you have a little bit of voice, in the voice, people get, oh, or you kind of, it's a little bit too masculine for them or whatever. And, some other people, here's the thing, some other people, they're just as bossy too, right? But then they have this little, well, I really like this. They talk with a higher tone, right? And then they, they try to like, oh, I really want you to do this. No, can you do this? Okay, can you do that? And that and that. But because they speak in a very high inflection and maybe a little baby voice, is it seen as bossy? Or can it be Is it because, this, you know, you know, or maybe nitpicky. If somebody that's speaking a more baby tone, like they have to scale back, somewhere has to scale back a little bit. I do understand that Brianna will have to, she does admit, she has had to be a shot caller. Okay. But she will, going forward in this marriage, have to scale back a little, just a little, so that Vince cannot feel, um, I guess, badgered. Men want to feel like, they don't have some woman badgering them and nagging them and all this. They want, uh, they need people to, I guess they need to feel that, okay, they're making the decision, even if you have the idea as a woman. And I remember this, and that came out, was eons ago, on this movie, My Fat Greek Wedding. What does one of the old ladies say? We are the neck. The man is the head, right? But we are the neck that turned the head any way it want, right? So even if you, probably the man is just tone deaf and he doesn't have a clue of what the hell he's doing and what he's saying. But as a woman, you just know, okay, you're the neck, so you can use your femininity and maybe your power of influence to kind of turn that head the way you want it to go, right? Your husband is not your child. Facts. He's not. I think that's just something that has to also be, to take into consideration. Your boss, there's a type of bossness that you have to have professionally in order for you not to be challenged. Okay, especially in those high professions like engineering, okay, and medicine. But then when you come home, you gotta tone that down or turn that off. Everybody cannot be mothered. Everybody cannot be a mother. You cannot have that dynamic with everyone, and that includes your husband. Um, Part of being a wife is understanding your role. And I just, with the experts being that whoever they are on that show, they would need to show their chops and, provide counseling or provide, advice to each of the couples, and especially with Brian and Vincent, unless they want to let her go on with her bossiness and see how that goes. But it would be nice that they would advise her, okay, there's some boundaries here. And for Vincent also, there's some boundaries, you know. At the end of the day, it'll take, some time for her to adjust as well to her new role as a wife. She's so sweet. Leave the office. At the office, it'll take her some time to make adjustments. Yes, it will. It will take her some time. And I think Vincent needs to understand that as well. It will take some time. When you have one type of life, one way, you're a single woman, and you have been running the show a certain way, um, you know, cut her some slack. Like, this is all new. Um, and I mean, he appears, understanding, like, yeah, I see that little bossiness, I see that, I see that. But, I would like for him to also take into consideration, just like how she has to take him into consideration. Like, each party just have to understand this is all new for us, and we're going to have to work out those kinks. And but I mean, Brianna as a person, she's like a sweetie pie. I mean, she's like somebody that I can, how you can befriend like certain women right away. You're like fast friends. You know what I'm saying? Um, even how she handles things, like she does. This is what I would do. This is what I would do. This is what I would do in this situation. I'm not wavering on that. There's no compromise. So yeah, she's a really nice girl. Apart from that, I mean, but this is why I don't feel that her bossiness, or what they claim is bossiness, is that toxic. Because when you see someone is bossy, there's a toxicness that comes with it. So there's uh it's like a either my way or the highway. You see what I mean? And so that can create some resentment. But being specific as to how things are done, it's just being specific, or maybe just, there's a certain way, which she's going to have to work out that. But when they see that she's bossy, even when they were doing the vows, they kind of incorporated that, like, yeah, I'm bossy, you're going to get a boss. But I think that was kind of like, like a cute joke on that day. But um, still, this is too new to really put that on her as someone that, yeah, she does boss around to the point where Vincent cannot handle himself. He can't see, think, or hear his own thoughts. I mean, there's a border of bossiness that people don't understand, like domineering. And so I think it's too early to really give Brianna that bossy, like that toxic bossiness. You see what I mean? Welcome, welcome in the chat. If you're new or you just came in, welcome. Please like and subscribe this live. We're just kind of going over on the dynamic of Brianna and Vincent on Married at First Sight. And we're looking at their latest dynamic as a couple, because we've kind of given other couples more attention than this one. But their dynamic is still a very important one. So yeah, what I wanted to say. Yeah, there is a border of bossiness that, that goes to the point where the other party cannot think, they cannot hear their thoughts. When you see bossy people, like bossy people, like you're not your own. Like you get up, they even tell you when to go to the bathroom. And if you pee too much that day, then they're on you about that. You know what I'm saying? So that's a little too early to really give her that. Yeah, I agree, Sharon. It's too early. It just started. I mean, they're acting like as if old girl is just running Vincent ragged. If he, it's too early. But I do believe on this next point that there needs to be a level of boundary setting. I don't want people to think that, um, if I see something, I'm going to be bossy, so I'm going to shrink myself and maybe even allow my boundaries to be violated because I don't want to be seen as bossy. I want to be well liked. There's a level of confidence that has to be there to say, well, please do not cross this boundary. If you think I'm bossy, oh darn well, get out. Don't cross this. I want people to be able to have the confidence and the self-esteem to know to stick to their principles. But sticking to your principles is not toxicity. What is toxicity is maybe encroaching on someone else's principles. And also on the other spectrum, what's toxicity is allowing people to just run you over because you want to be accepted so much that you don't want to be seen a certain way. I think that's both ends of the spectrum is bad, and it's going to have a lack of respect in the relationship. You see what I mean? It doesn't matter what kind of relationship, professional relationship, marital, parents and children relationship, co-worker relationship, your friend down the road, your neighbor relationship. Once respect is lost, once boundaries are crossed, you don't have. There's a big compromise right there, and it's at the end of it, the beginning of the end of it, unless something happens and someone collects themselves. Okay? And it's okay to be a perfectionist. It's okay to be assertive. And like Sharon was saying, it could be our tone sometimes that it rubs people the wrong way. It's not what you say, it's how you say it, right? It could be, our tone, your tone of how you do things. And so it's like you have to consider like how you come across as opposed to, just basically just like, well, I said this, and this, and I said blah, blah, blah. And wonder why they say that they're, bossy. But then maybe when you say it, you're angry sounding. Or maybe when you say it like you upset the other person, or you or you go overboard and maybe how you're just the other person. It's like so many things, but I still want people to be encouraged that it's okay to have principles a certain way, but it's also okay to have a little bit of compromise, to give and take. You understand? Do you think these couples should continue with counseling? It's all new for the both of them. I think so. I really think so. I really, really do think so. Counseling, counseling is very important. And this is why, I find this show kind of controversial in that a whole lot of things that should happen before the wedding is not happening right after the wedding. And, they're calling this a human experiment, but counseling is very important in order to hash out those little kinks before. Okay, I know you're bossy, but I know that I must lead as a man. So how do we rectify that? What are your boundaries and what are my boundaries? And where can we meet at the middle that we're not violating each other's boundaries? You see what I'm saying? And in so doing, yeah, I mean, that way people can reach a middle ground. And so either party doesn't feel like, am I losing something trying so that this person doesn't feel offended? You understand? Am I losing something so that they don't feel offended? But uh, am I having, so if the other person's losing something so the other person doesn't feel offended, I got my thoughts mixed up. Am I having to take away from someone just so that I do not have my boundaries crossed? You see? There's a whole lot of things that you have to think about. But, at the end of the day, counseling is very important. That's why it is important. I feel it's too early. Too early. Too early. Too early. Anyway, let me know what you think. Let me know further in the comments. We'll continue this discussion. Also, guys, let me know what you want me to get into, because I started writing down a whole lot of things, and it's just like there's just a whole lot of stuff to consider that people go through, but then maybe don't want to talk about. The manosphere is full of, complaints that, why won't women let them lead? I don't think it's something that women let you do. It's something that a man does, it's something that he does. I cannot, as a woman, take that away from the man. It's either he's leading or he's not leading. Okay, some men, they just lean back and let the wife run the show, but it's not the wife that's like taking it away from him. You understand? So that's an excuse that's kind of weak, but I hear it all over. And, I see even in the comments in the streets, social media streets, when they want to refer to Brianna as bossy, can she, does she let him lead? I don't think that's something that she lets him. That's something that Vincent has to do. And when he's efficient in it and he proves that he knows what he's doing, Brianna will just naturally submit. The submission just comes. You understand? It's like you are in obedience, right? You do everything correctly. You follow policies and procedures on your company that you work for. What naturally happens? Someone notices your hard work. Someone notices you've done this and that and the other, and it's all over the place. They may be asking you for a promotion. I don't know. I mean, when you do one thing, naturally the other thing occurs. So, anyhow, let me know what you think. What you think about this dynamic. Do you think that leading or being bossy, let me rephrase. Do you think that women asserting themselves is bossiness? Do you think that if the man is the boss in the relationship, should women just like let things be just to, what do you think? What, who's, For me, the boss in the relationship, I mean, we all know that for me, the man leads. But, lately it seems like men are, I don't know if it could be upbringing, could be a different dynamic of things, but they could be having this, I don't know if it's single parents or I don't know their upbringing. They haven't really seen a strong father figure. And so they're just kind of like taking this wimpy stance, like, um, if I meet a woman that's really, really bossy and stuff like that, then, you know, I don't know what to do. She should scale back, blah, blah, blah. When frankly, do they even know what being a strong man is? Like there's so many things, no, so many reasons why some of these guys feel that way. But in everything, that's leadership is something that you just have to do. Don't look for the woman to do it. Don't look for her to give you permission to do it. This is just something you're doing. And once you're leading, she'll just follow. So yeah, it's too early. It's too early to brand her as Brianna as bossy. It's too early. A single woman having to be in a STEM field that's predominantly masculine, you have to be a certain way. So that's too early. We can't count that. Can we? All right. So I'm gonna leave from here, but let me know. What time is it for you guys? I know someone said that they were back east. It's afternoon for them, but I guess maybe I will come on maybe around dinner time. People tend to be on, so we can talk a little bit more about things. So yeah, so I'm going to leave here, guys. It's been real. Thanks for watching. Sharon, thank you so much. We kind of talk a little bit about this. It was kind of on my mind because I noticed that and I was like, they keep using the bossy trope, the bossy thing, Why are you using the bossy thing on her like that? It's just, she got to be bossy. I mean, you're an engineer, darn it. I mean, what do they expect? I mean, would they say Virginia's bossy? I mean, she's like, let's go for some drinks. Yeah. As soon as she and Eric go in the room, let's go for some drinks. She's bossing Eric around. I love my male friends. I'm not going to ditch my male friends. I'm not going to ditch my male friends and all of that. You understand? Yeah, a leader creates leaders, not followers. And she bosses Eric around, right? Do they say that Virginia is bossy? That's another couple on the show. Do they say that Virginia is bossy because she's ordering Eric around? Let's go here. Let's go to this bar. Let's go to that bar. Ooh, they come into their first honeymoon. They come to the room when they start their honeymoon. First thing she does, let's go for some drinks. And Eric is like, we just got here. You're already talking about drinks, girl. But he doesn't really go on about whether she's bossy or not, and she's leading him by the hand everywhere, looking for the next bottle. All Brianna says is just something hygienic. That's the latest thing that I saw. And it's like the bossiness is coming out. No, the bossiness is not coming out. She's just very specific. Anywho, guys, take it easy until next time. Thank you so much, you guys, for participating. Thank you so much, Sharon. You were with me in my early morning. Yeah. So, ladies, gentlemen, whoever is in here, I don't know if there's like 2 people. So you have yourself a wonderful day until next time. And we'll be back. We'll be back. We'll do this again. All right. Take care.